and I don't know how to combat it, I don't know how to deal with it. You know, so if I don't attend to that thing, or I'll suffer from that. You know, but being in the spoken word, I'm rarely depressed. I'm rarely, people see me upbeat. Yeah, so what I'm going through, what I'm dealing with. You know, because it's a certain joy that I've been given. And I look forward to, as a spoken word artist, an entrepreneur, a lot of times you don't know your next phone call or email. You know, so I live for that. I wake up early in the morning for that. It could be a rainy day, and I get that email, all of a sudden the sun shines. You know, so that's what gets me really happy. Not, you know, working in my trade. You know, I'm a barber. You know, I work in my trade because that helps. That's therapeutic as well. It can be therapeutic for other people because when you're a barber, people have a lot of questions. They ask you a lot of different things, and they go through relationship issues and stuff like that. And in a way, it comes on the barber. You know, I'm going through stuff too. I'm going through it, of course, now. But you know, but with spoken word, it's helped me to be transparent and talk about just about what's on my mind and my heart, and I can relate to different people and inspire them and have them to also open up as well too. So that's a little bit about me as far as the mental health side. But spoken word has also made me become a self-published author. I've written 2 books. I've been in like 2 anthologies, I believe 2 or 3 anthology books. 3-time recording artist. You know, y'all talking about Jay Ivy earlier. That brother just won a Grammy, and I was grateful. He helped me to get my own album into the Grammys to be considered for a Grammy nomination. You know, so I performed at Wintrust Arena. I've traveled, different states. Just recently, I got a phone call to feature in Washington, D.C., paying for my flight, the hotel, and my booking fee, all my traveling expenses. So it's like I can't go back now. I can't go back to whatever dark place that I was, whatever I want. I can't go back there. You know, it just opened up so many doors, so many opportunities, for me. And I love it. It's like a whole nother life, a whole nother world, that's for me. So I know a lot of people watch me and this and that, and they don't know why I do certain things. Like they may think I'm showing off or something like that, but my thing is to inspire people, to help them to do their dream, do what you love to do what brings you joy and love and peace. It don't even matter about the money, because I actually left the barbershop. I performed at, I did one of my first shows on the west side, Living Clean, and I ain't getting paid that much. I think about maybe $30 I got, but I remember I had a CD, I had an EP CD for $5. And that line was so long, I didn't go back to the barbershop the next day. So I said, this is what I want to do. I'm like, I'm an artist. I just performed on stage. I'm feeling like Jay-Z and them. I just performed like, I don't have to go back, to the shop. And I left the next day. I ended up going back because I didn't gradually make the move. I ain't going back. I'm an artist. I'm a spoken word artist. But still, I still spoke it. I still spoke it out there. So it just got to the point where I started building my clientele, and I left the shop. So I would do them at home, or I would drive to them and I could charge more money. I could pay the booth rent, or I could pay rent at home. So I'm good. So that started working out for me better to be able to do what I really want to do and love to do. So, that's just a little bit, background, about me. Right now I'm looking to just be full-time, mainly with spoken word, and, starting my non-for-profit, dealing with, we're doing a lot of workshops and stuff like that. So, that's where I'm at right now, and I look forward to it. The journey. I have a son, he's 19, at Illinois State. Pray for him, I don't know what he's doing, playing Roblox and eating, but, let me see, what else? Any questions? That's, it's a lot about me, any questions, if not, I'm going to go around the room and find out who everybody is.
Spoken word has been more therapeutic for you, obviously, but have you found any solace, or has your writing also, does it have that same effect for
I may not ever speak. Like people who follow me, I've written well over 1,000 poems, and I may have 30 memorized. So there's a reason why I keep writing. You know, I could be like, I'm tired, I don't feel like writing. You know, what's the use of writing this? I'm not going to perform it nowhere. You know, but it is definitely being therapy. Like you throw up a subject or anything, and I just start writing about it. Like, some words that kind of in some way formulate. You know, for me to write, and like I say, it's therapeutic because it helps me to I feel good about myself. I'm a part of history. I always say that when you write something new, you know, a poem or something that you write, no one has ever written that the way you have written it since the world exists. Not the exact same word. Maybe something similar, but not exactly like that. And that helps me feel like, man, I just created history right here with this piece, with this new poem. And like you said, you have books and stuff, that's your history. You put them inside of books. Like, nobody ever did the books you wrote. What's the title of your book?
The significance of my journey.
See? That's history. You're part of history. You're like Mike Angelo. Like, but you though. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Do you journal that? I mean, are you journaling when you're writing poetry usually, or are you setting out to write a specific poem when you're inspired to write about something in particular, or both? I mean, do you like to write every day? I mean, are you like, you know?
I don't like to write it.
No.
Because something coming to me is like, I have to write it.
Yeah.
It's like I had to release that, especially when I hear something, man, that sounds cold. You don't have to write it, have to get it out. Then too, I know it's something that I have to release. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to write all the time. I don't. You know, I think I write enough, more than the average person. You know, now if somebody be like, hey, I want you to write 10 poems a day, I'm gonna pay you $5, they'll be broke quick. It's like, but as far as my poetry, the way it's lined up, I do have maybe 8 books written, but not published. So if I write a love poem, it's going to go inside of one of my volumes that I have of love. I have 3 love poems, 3 love books that I'm writing. Like, once I wrote like about 30 of them, I go to volume 2, another love, volume 3, so I have to start with volume 4 if I keep writing love. If I do something conscious, it's probably going to go on the album. You know, something spiritual may go in the book, or I may memorize it. But any poem I write is going in the book. I'm creating a book. Any poem is going to go. I have a spiritual book as well too, that I haven't published yet, but I can just add more pieces as I'm writing them. So they're going in the books. They're going into. I don't believe in letting stuff go to waste. Like people freestyling it, I don't believe it. I was like, hey man, you freestyle, record yourself. You know, record what you're doing. Whatever. So yeah, I hope I answered your question, Mark.
Sure.
Okay. Any more? If not, I'm gonna go around. We get all the way around. Yeah. So you up with first discovery. So who are you and what do you love to do?
I am Veronica. I classify myself as a solutionist. What I like to do is I like to help people bring resolve to the broken pieces and puzzles within their life, as much as what lies within me to be able to do that.
Say it again.
I like to bring resolve to people in regards to the broken pieces of their lives.
Okay.
So if I'm speaking to someone, I'm normally not just speaking to you. I'm speaking to you and under my breath I'm praying, asking God to give me revelation as to how to respond. I've mastered how to listen. And not to listen to respond, but to listen to comprehend and to be able to respond in a intellectual manner.
Anything else you want to say?
I have a strong sense of family. I love family. And Jesus is Lord and Savior of my life. He comes first above all.
Yes.
There's nothing that I participate in writing from just being ostracized and opposed because I was the only girl. I started writing about the book I'm writing now, book 4. It's called From Lemon to Lemonade. I was all on Channel 9 News. I got discriminated against Chicago. Cook County Sheriff Department was on the news. This and that. So I'm writing about that now. And I'm talking about being damaged, but not being broken. I'm talking about how to experience extreme racism, but then to join a Caucasian church and worship with them and love on them and to let all that go and to let God deliver and heal me to the point where I no longer see their outer skin, I see their inner content.
Yes.
So that's where I'm at now, because people are like, oh, you was on the news, you was the one that got discriminated against and blah, blah, blah. And now you at a white church, and I'm like, no, I'm at a kid's church. Yes, people come at me like that all the time because I left a quote-unquote black church. So now it's like, oh, she a traitor. And you know what? It's like, you have to get to a point in your life where you have to say enough is enough. And whenever you're interacting with people and they're toxic or they're saying things that God has delivered you from, you have to be mature enough to move yourself away from their space so that you don't have to. You have to not lose you. So the key is to not lose you, to continue to grow and evolve where you're at, and to adopt a new perspective, to continue to help you to continue to move forward. And that's where I'm at in my life. It's forward ever, backwards never. If it disturbs my peace, it's too expensive.
Yeah. I know that's right. Lady, you see why I be out of security and stuff.
Yes.
I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to do nothing. But man, that's one. Thank you for sharing that with us. Next.
Hi,
What you love to do.
hi everyone.
Sorry, Sean.
Oh, no, it's okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Ishan. I'm also attending the building. I'm not an author. I don't do spoken words.
How you know you're not an author?
Well, I have no interest in being an author.
Okay.
I'm just not interested. I came today because I was intrigued because of the mental health component. I'm an advocate for mental health. I currently oversee the youth employment for the city of Chicago, and I specialize in mental health for our young people, between 16 and 28-year-olds. And I believe it's extremely important. I want people to understand when you go to the doctor, when you're sick, you go to the doctor. When you have a toothache, you go to the dentist. You should be taking care of your mental health the same way. And if something is not right, you should go see a counselor, a therapist. So I've been working with the population for about 15 years, and voc rehab is what I specialize in, and I'm also a licensed counselor. So that's the reason why I'm here. So I'm just here to listen to you guys' story and see how this can be useful to the youth that I work with.
Awesome. What do you love to do?
Work with the young people.
Okay.
Work with the young people.
Okay. All right. Let me get back to you too. Back.
Well, I'm Tyrone Christopher. I'm a explorer of life. I'm an epiphany of a supporter. I always wanted to do recordings for many events, such as for my church every Sunday, and I always do recordings for hot sauce poetry.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing a lot lately and everything. Coming out, doing incredible things, and enjoying everybody's incredible new culture. Thinking about the wonders that I love to do. And I always love to go out and travel, see many places and things. Living the joyless life.
Okay.
This is what I always been doing. And I'll always be the person behind this camera right here.
I know that's right.
Yes, sir.
Like I just said last month at that other workshop, it's being the work of art.
Right. So you capturing.
Yes.
Yeah. I capture.
Wow. You also sing too, don't you?
Yes, I do.
See,
I'm
he's
on.
also like a, I remember I was going to, what was that, Schaumburg?
You mean going out to Downers Grove?
Downers Grove, yeah, so Tyrone can also like help you trying to get on the metro train to go places. He know everything, like what time I'm scheduled, the trains are coming, and
Yeah.
when they get off, and which one to get on, not to get on. So he like escorted me all the way on the metro train all the way out there. I had to get out there. It was actually a conference.
Yes.
What kind of conference? It was a man's. I don't know, it's a big conference they had out there, and I was booked to perform. You know, and he escorted me all the way out there. So he's like a servant. He's like a servant, you know, to help people, man. I want to say to you, just keep doing what you're doing because you love to doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely, it's already paying off for you. It's gonna keep on paying off like even greater.
Yes.
You know, so keep doing what you're doing. Keep helping articulate. You know, even myself, because I sure be needing a lot of help. Like I don't, you know, I can't do what I do, you know, just alone about myself.
I know.
So,
But now I'm going to be working with you because, you know, House House Poetry is going to be out in Park Forest
okay.
every second Fridays now.
I appreciate it.
So I'm probably going to be here working with you in the city.
Okay. And I know you love wrestling. I know you love watching.
I know. You already know that.
Now, is that therapeutic for you? Like
What?
to watch wrestling? Is that therapeutic?
Yeah, I've been loving watching wrestling ever since I was little at the time. Ever since I was growing up, I've been watching wrestling like WWE from WCW, NWA,
Okay.
and now AEW, Ring of Honor, and all.
Okay.
Wow,
That's
I
awesome.
don't know what you're talking about. It's awesome.
That's awesome. In the back.
Hi, my name is Elena. I'm here in support of spoken word, but for Mr. Mike as well. I met Mr. Mike several years ago, maybe about 7, 8 years ago. And I never was impressed by poetry. I wrote a few pieces, so on and so forth, but it was nothing major important. But I was going through some domestic things that were happening in my life. And poetry to me is spiritual. It is coming from a place where God is. And there are expressions, there are many different expressions. And I believe that Mike's words, his spoken words, pulled me out of a dark place and just, I don't know, it opened me up to something different. And I thank God for that. It was not me trying to write a book or poetry or anything like that, but it stuck with me. And it opened up something on the inside. So I'm just a helper. Just a helper at his events, and I really enjoy it. Yeah.
What you love to do? What you love to do?
I love to help people. Yeah, I love to help people in whatever aspect they may be. Spiritually and in different ways, administration-wise, whatever is necessary. But helping people.
Love it.
Yeah.
Mark, you participate?
No, listen, I have no credit at all in any of this, but I mean, I just have an idea that I feel that, you know, housing is going to be the basis on which we can do a lot more for people. And that's why, you know, being inspired by you, we met a long time ago. We started doing these events. I didn't know anything about spoken word, but I recognize it as a tool to do a lot of things. Dialogue between communities, I think is something we can probably do a lot more with spoken word. And, you know, as Ishan mentioned, the mental health component and how we can use words, whether spoken or written, to help people deal with some of the issues with which they struggle. I think is super important. I mean, they just came out with studies that talk about how exercise is as effective as a lot of drugs for depression and things like that. So this kind of thing, you know, speaking and verbalizing, getting your thoughts out, probably will have similar effects if anybody ever did a study on it. So to the extent that we can be a laboratory for that kind of thing, and, you know, sort of work out how we would do it, that's why I never thought we'd have 1,000 people here, but I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to start to figure out how we can put together events exercise when I
Okay.
can, you know, but at work, that's obviously therapeutic exercise. But, no, I'm getting up there.
Okay.
Keep that 50 rand down. But in any event,
Hey, so.
Okay.
right, exactly. No, so, I mean, I will say this. I do come to these issues from a totally different point of view. I think that there's an important role for private involvement in sort of finding these kinds of solutions. I don't think it's all the government, no offense if you don't. Or even through necessarily through not-for-profits. I think that people need to have a certain amount of responsibility that, you know, whether they're landlords or whether they're business owners or whatever they're doing and getting involved in the community. So, anyway, that's it. That's my
Awesome.
Okay. And, your daughter is here. And, or,
She's here to get over her shyness.
yes, it's
You know, listen, you know, as long as I still pay the tuition, she has to show up and tell me. No, she's definitely interested in poetry. I wish she would speak. She's actually written some great poetry. She won some awards and done some national stuff, but she's too shy.
Who you are, what you love to do.
That's exactly it. Again, as I said before, we were talking, you know, if there were 300 of you, she was valedictorian, she gave a valedictorian address, had no problem talking to our entire community.
Wow.
But when it gets to like a small setting like this,
Really?
all of a sudden she can't talk. I don't know.
Ooh.
I keep talking for her. But
Yeah, your publicist.
she, you know, well, yeah, I mean, you know, in these like National Poetry Award things that they do, she's been, you know, published in those, right? But
That's great.
you have a book in you? She wants to write a book, I'm sure she just, you know, won't tell you about that. So that's the goal. This summer, when she's back, Mike, we gotta do a few more events. And we're gonna force her to get up there and, you know.
You should come back for, I got Brandon Lee. You familiar with Brandon Lee?
I'll tell you, I told her, she was impressed. Actually, you know, she's gonna be back in Israel by that point.
Oh,
But in the summer she'll be here, so we'll have to work something else out.
Yeah, you know about Brandon Lee? He's the winner, only poet to win on America's Got Talent. Yeah, so he'll be in Chicago, he'll be here at the Regal Room. Yeah.
It's gonna be here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
should.
thought it was gonna be
Matter of fact, you
Oh,
should. I did
oh,
so.
and how about the last time?
No, it's gonna
Well,
be
you did say
right
that.
here.
Oh, I never.
It's gonna be
That's
here.
right.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Other than that, you just a normal
That's
guy.
why we need to be
He was on The Bachelor. How's that? Did that work?
Oh, I know.
Oh, no, that's my mother. Who's in The Bachelor.
It's still on. Actually, it's still on.
Please don't be.
No, it's not.
It is.
Yeah, it's still on.
I don't watch it.
I'm sure you don't.
How do you get away in school by doing this? 'Cause I know the school actually introduce yourself and go around like,
So her seminary in Israel, right, where they send photos. They've sent us like, you know, 60 photos of like events they've been to. I think Esty was in one of them. And it was a group photo. She didn't have a choice. Listen, she's super smart, super, you know, her friends always tell me that she's the nicest, kindest person
very, very talented in different ways. My motivation is helping the community.
Mhm.
Um, when I help the community, I write about the different things that's happening in the community to motivate and to show the inspiration within myself to be able to heal souls. So I heal souls by blessing them with nourishment of food for themselves. Sometimes I bless them with words of wisdom to be able to encourage someone to go to the next step. I am a writer. I am a poet. I'm an inspirational poet. So when I write what I see. So like you all sitting here now, I see healing.
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
So when I write in my poetry, I write about each person that's been healed. Why they been healed? Where they going? What do I see there? You know. So I write to make things what it's supposed to be in the community. So my biggest thing is I'm a poet, but I'm a community poet that basically reach out to souls who need the healing. And I don't go everywhere. I only go where God tells me. If God don't tell me to go,
I understand.
I'm not going. You know. Like I say, I just left a concert. I have to say this. I walked in with 90 bucks. God said, spend the whole 90. When I spent the whole 90, I'm like, man, money. Went to the car. God said, so I started looking at my parking account. I put my keys in my parking stuff. So I looked at this part, looked at another part. I dig a little deep down here. I'm like, oh, I got $9. But in my mind, I felt like I didn't have anything. God said your loyalty in the community is the soul of me. So if you be loyal to the community, then your soul will be free. So the community is the concert I just left. Everybody in there is the community. So if I spend everything that I came in with, when I get back outside, the community, somebody in the community is going to bless me. You know what I'm saying? So my biggest intake is community. Like I'm serious with the outreach. You can Google it. You know, I'm on Google. You know, you can look up my name. I have two names in poetry. I multitask. I have Anointed One and Boston Poet. Boston Poet is the steps of my walk. Anointed One is the spirit of my wife. So a lot of times people say you should prepare yourself. I don't prepare myself like I'm going up on stage. I just go with what God tells me to do. Because I don't want to write something down and that's not what He wants me to say. So I just get up there and perform how He would want me. You know, they might say, hey, give it up for Anointed One. I'll walk up there, I might change the Pastor Porter. It's a different step, different way. The reason is, like I said, some of us, you know, deal with the mental. And me personally, I've been dealing with the mental. I'm stressed out. Like my wife's been in the hospital since February 28th. And then first hospital, she was in ICU, saved her life. The doctor told me and my wife when she woke up, if she didn't come out of dialysis treatment number one, she would have been dead. So she opened her eyes, the devil started coming into her body to be able to not let her breathe. So they had to call the lungs people. They had to call the other doctors to be able to work with her and get her right. She went from emergency room, from the Methodist North Hospital, and then from the emergency room to the admitting room on the fourth floor. Got a phone call, said they had to do emergency surgery. And they asked me permission. I said, go ahead. Let's go ahead. Did the emergency surgery, put the catheters in her right here on this side, to be able to do the dialysis treatments. Sent her straight to ICU. She left ICU. Before she left ICU, my godfather, his name Elder, he went up there and laid hands on her to pray up. She left ICU, went to 259. Left 259, went upstairs because they said that she was doing good, so she went back to the fourth floor. Within 24 hours, the devil got busy. Sent her back downstairs to 238 because they said she stopped breathing. So from 238, they said they don't know what happened in 24 hours. I said the devil's a lie. So they got to work on it. I found out me and the doctors had a great relationship because I stayed in the hospital with my wife 22 days. She was in a Methodist hospital 22 days overnight. So the thing is this, like, that took me through a whole mental thing. You know, I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? You know, he said, I want you to listen, follow my instructions, and I need you to take yourself seriously. Take yourself seriously. If you take yourself seriously, then you'll take me seriously. And you'll know my presence is here. But you need to just calm down, work with the doctors, take your anger issues to the side, and just be patient with me. If you feel my glory, you can be able to feel me. But if you continue moving on and want to do it your way, it's not going to work. She's here and alive because I have some greater for her. But you have to be obedient. You got to work together as a power team. So I had to literally take my mind out of the equation and try to focus on what she wanted and what she needed and what the doctor. It just took a lot out of me. I didn't get into the writing. It's just my mind was everywhere. So I wasn't focused. So after a while, I got focused, and they transferred her to Kendrick, North Lake Hospital. That's what she had now. For rehab to learn how to walk. But thank God today she's walking.
Amen.
So
Yes.
like I said, moving right along, I'm just a man of God, just standing on my 2 feet to just move how God wants me to move. That's me. And thank God for just being support. You know, met this brother a long time ago. You know, through different other people, and it's like his poetry is an inspiration. There was one poem he had dropped. I'm like, this came right on time. You know, and he's just been dropping poems like every day. And I'm like, you know, I'm like, this brother on fire. Like, he get me on fire. You know what I'm saying? It's fire burning with fire. So, like I say, me and my wife is tight, real tight. We built a dynasty. Everybody say we built an empire. Nah, we built a dynasty. unity for the community. So I just want to share love with y'all. You know? Let y'all know I love y'all. Thank you, Mark, for doing this. Appreciate you because this is what it needed. This is what it needed to be. This a lot of people need this because in the city, not just the city, but all over the world,
Yes.
there's mental illness everywhere. So we all going through different stages of mental illness, and you would feel better if you talk about it. If you don't talk about it and you just be closed in, you'll never be healed. You know, but you gotta focus on how God wants to take it. But like I say, I'm just happy. Like y'all know, my mind got blown away an hour ago by my cousin Jay Ivy. Then on top of that, my wife is alive. It's just everything is just something about to happen over here, man. And by y'all being in the presence of God with me, the favor of God is coming for y'all life today. Because God told me, don't go home. He said, go straight to Judge Mike the poet. Go support him and trust him. There's something else that you're going to need. You got to take that with you. You can't just go home. You got to take that portion with you. You fire up because of what's going on. But now you can't go home until you take this portion with you. Because when you take this portion with you, that's something that you're going to need to go to the fire. You got to go through the fire to get to the fire.
That's right.
Y'all don't know. It's 3 fires.
3 of them.
It's 3 of them. A lot of people think it's 1.
No.
It's 3. You got to go through all of them. But if you ain't got this fire, how you supposed to get through the other fire? It's fire than just Michael Ford. And I thank God for that, brother. Peace and love.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
So, the thing about it is that which we refuse to confess and confront and we allow to remain concealed will eventually consume us is the bottom line.
That's in your book.
To the next one.
There you go.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank everybody for sharing. Christopher, who's out, he's gonna speak a little later. Christopher Smith, he's our special guest here on today. I welcome him.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes, he is.
He's a great young man, and it was an honor to run into him and meet him. He's doing a lot of great things. Just a little bit, he's a 9-time published author. That's just inspiration for me. Like I'm 2-time, and he's 9. I'm like, man, like, wow, that's wow. I know how hard it is to write the first book, the one book, and a look back in on how he wrote it was I was working in the barbershop, and the conversation that came up, would you cut your beard? I ain't got much beard as it is. Would you cut your beard and stuff off to work a certain job position? And I said, no, I wouldn't do it. And then I'm like, well, what else you gonna do? Right away, I said, I'm gonna write a book. He said, you ain't gonna write no so-and-so book. Those were his words. Now, mentally, that would have affected somebody not to write it. But instead, that encouraged me to write it. When he said that, I went home and I started digging up stuff like, I'm gonna write this book. He said, I ain't gonna write this so-and-so book. No, I'm gonna write it and end up writing it. And like what you mentioned about the thank yous?
I'll never write a book and not say thank you. It's always going to be a special thanks in everything I ever compose.
Awesome. So my last thank you in the book, when I did my novels, I like to thank the person that said, I would never write a book. And I ain't gonna lie, that was therapeutic just to write that. Just to write that thank you, within that book. But man, like anything you're doing, like you think it's a challenge, it becomes easier once you get it started and do it. You have your challenges along the way, but you'll be motivated to finish it. doing some of the things that you know you couldn't even do. So, before I go into the next, you got something to say, Sean?
No, you
I was
Oh,
gonna-
okay.
I was gonna ask her to eat a cookie, but she already did.
Okay, before I get into the next question or portion I have. Well, I could actually ask it now before we start. What is mental health? What is mental health? And I want to get into 5 ways to even combat it. So, if anybody knows, just tell me something. Like, what is mental health? I'll start with you. Since like you said the mental health field, I like to start with you. Like, what is mental health, and what would you say some of the words even combat it?
Gosh. What is mental health? That's a big word. Mental health is, it's the chemical balance that in your brain. Anything that can affect your daily living, whether that's your emotions, your personality, whether you get up and go to work, socialize with others. And oftentimes, if you do not manage your mental health, it can destroy its relationships. It can prevent you from being successful. You can make some bad decisions and engage in negativity. Some of the ways to protect your mental health, which I'm going to say works all the time, is employment. The mere fact that you get up and every day and go to work, that definitely, helps to protect yourself. Employment, market emphasize, exercising, that really helps. Eating the right food. People don't realize that eating the right food. I was telling Mark's daughter, 1 cookie is enough. It's like 500 calories in that 1 cookie. Eating healthy, meditation, music, of course, having a relationship with God.
Yes.
That's probably number 1. And there's so many things. Arts,
Yes.
people who draw, poetry,
yes.
all of that
Yes.
plays a part. Just taking walks.
Walks, yeah.
Walks through the park, realizing that the negative people in your life, the ones that just not good to be around, and saying no and setting limitations. You have to be okay with telling people, no, I can't do this, or walking away from friendships and loved ones if you feel like they are the ones that's toxic and destroying your mental health. It's just this balance. I always tell people it's important that you really do take care of yourself. Your mind and your brain is just as important as your body. And what I do know is that when you don't have your mental health together, it tends to, people don't realize how it does correlate to your physical health. So you ever notice when people are struggling, depressed and stuff, they're not going to the doctor, they're not taking care of themselves. And those who struggle with mental health die at a faster rate than those who do not. So we definitely need to take care of ourselves.
Is that in vice versa too? Like if your body's not taken care of, it affect your mental health?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anybody else want to add to ways to help with mental health? Anything? I know some ways, like y'all have some. Some we might not have said, might be forgetting.
I have a question. I don't know if it's appropriate. I have my best friend that we've been friends for like 40 years. She was given some news that her illness that she has is terminal. We talk daily, and in the interim of that, she lost her mind. she used to be, she's not planning. So I don't know if that is a mental breakdown. I don't know what you call it. I can't say that, I just don't know what you call it. And the hospital did not give her anything. I told her, I said, you don't stop acting crazy, they're not gonna let you out. I said, sit there and do whatever they tell you to do so we can get you out of here. She did just that, and they let her out, but she's doing the same thing. So she can hear me if she wants to. So I don't know if that is psychosis. I've researched, I've Googled, but I'm not skilled in that area. So I want to know what is wrong with my best friend and will she come back?
Well, yeah, it is. She probably suffered from, and I don't know enough about her history to say exactly what it is, so I'm just speculating right now. I can tell you that why do some people, especially those that are relative, why do some people develop mental health and others do not? And there's typically three components that can consist of. So of course, your DNA plays a part in it. With DNA, you have to have a triggering factor. So it could be an illness, rape, a loved one, losing someone. So you have to have that trigger, and then resiliency. So if you have people, how fast do you bounce back? We all are going to experience trials and tribulations in our life. It's how fast we bounce back. Some people don't bounce back quickly. In this situation, it seems like she's struggling, and which is understandable because they told us she only has so many months or weeks left to live, and she's struggling to accept that, and that's what's happening with her right now.
So they said that they found plaque on her brain, but now the second doctor, because they did another CAT scan, they're saying that everyone her age probably has the same thing. So it's caught, and she's still stuck in thinking she's about to die right now. And I could drop dead for her walking out this door. So you say resilience. I had my pastor give her a call. I have a little bit of spirituality in me, and you know what I'm saying. And she said I have to make some phone calls. I'm going to hang up. And I can't believe that you're not trying to receive help to get better, but you're a call. So what is that? Is she battling with herself? Because she's not opening up to anyone else. So what is that?
She's given up. That's what
She's not thriving.
She's given up. The doctors gave her news, and now she feels like that's the end of the world, and this is it, and there's nothing she can do. Whereas someone who do have resiliency, they're gonna, they'll say, okay, let me go get a second opinion. I'm gonna live these next 2 months to the best of my ability. I'm gonna live it up for the next 2 months. She chose a different path, which is why she's struggling right
We
now.
were talking about, so what do you want to do? I said, let's go to Mexico. She went, it's a villa, 1,300, we just were planning it, and then she just checked out. So I haven't had a normal conversation in about 2 months, and I don't know what to do. When I come over her house, she runs and hides in the closet. What is that? She wasn't bathing, she wasn't showering, she wasn't brushing. What is that? That's just, is it mental illness or is it just a breakdown so she can bounce back? I don't know what's
I don't know because I don't know enough about her history. It could be. It could be having a breakdown. It could be, this receiving this bad news. It could be a way of her avoiding it. Some people have a tendency to avoid things. So I don't know.
So
What I would suggest that you take her to encourage her to go see a professional.
Well, they have, and like I said,
Outside of nothing wrong with the pastor.
no,
Outside of a pastor, a professional.
a professional.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you think God could supersede in this? Or what, would they give her medication to get better? You see what I'm saying? I think God is the ultimate healer. That's just how I feel and I stand on that.
This is you.
Versus
hitting a
science.
This is a debate here.
Versus science.
We got pastors in the building. See if
Okay, amen.
we get them down here.
I can tell you, I grew up Christian. I love my God. I stay in church on a regular basis. I have a good relationship with them. But here's my concern with our community. We have a tendency to either go to our pastor or to our grandparents and specializes in mental health.
That's right.
That's the difference. Neither one specializes in mental health. And we have to go seek the professional help everyone needs medicine. You know, I know tons of people who struggle with mental health and are not on medication and are living normal, productive lives. Some people do. And in your case, I don't know, it could be one or the other.
But she doesn't even feel anything's wrong with her, so to get her to go, she's gonna say it's nothing wrong with her.
Stigma. It's stigma, the reason why she doesn't go. I lost a best friend. I've known her for 20 years, and I suggested her go and seek professional help, and she's been having symptoms for years. No one ever said anything. Destroyed our relationship because I suggested that she go seek professional help. She ended the relationship. She wasn't ready to hear it, but she really did.
How's she doing now?
Struggling. But she won't go see professional help.
It hurts, doesn't it?
Oh, it hurts. 20 years, you know somebody for 20, oh, it hurts. It absolutely does hurt.
You guys want to ask questions?
Well, I just listening to the scenario and everything that's going on. It truly sounds like she's struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder. She did say there was a collaboration of things that took place within her life in the past breakup that led to this point.
Yeah, could be.
That's a form of depression, anyway, like a deep
Yeah.
depression.
You were her.
Yeah. That's what's up. Does she have a counselor or something like that?
Who,
No,
Kim?
your friend.
They took her to Christ Hospital. She was on the 5th floor. It was a code to get in and out, but they allowed her to stay on her cell phone. She did see a doctor. They did do a CAT scan on her. They gave her some medication to sleep because she was up for like 46 hours at a time. She's not resting. She wouldn't eat. She lost 40 pounds. So she may take a sip of water or chew, and that's it. But the family doesn't know. Her daughter called me. She has 2 girls. When her dad found out that Kim was in this state, he had a hemorrhagic where he had an aneurysm. So he's on a ventilator. So now she's lost both of her parents. One is alive and one is on a ventilator. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Pray.
Yeah, that would be great. If anything else that was said,
Nothing has helped thus far. She's still in the same position.
I'm talking about that was said just now, like.
Oh.
we-
Well, yes, I guess. I'm just trying to, together and stay strong for her children. Because they're crying, they don't understand why their parents are sick, why God allowed both parents to, one is on, not doing well,
Yeah.
on a ventilator, and the other one is not here. So, I don't know, God has things, go through certain things for certain reasons to make us stronger, but sometimes we can handle it and sometimes we can't. I know even when we're broken, God does produce the oil in us with just the anointing to be able to tell someone else or help them, but right now, immediately, I have no answers. And I don't know.
You just continue to be a friend.
That's
to her,
it.
like
I'm
best
a
friend.
lover.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you do the best that you can do and keep asking. Finding
I want to find, answers. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find, what should we do? Where should we take?
solutions and stuff like that. Yeah.
Thank you, though. Thank you for listening, young lady.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. So, we have some more guests that just popped in, but the question, we did discover earlier, we might get back in there, let me see. But the question was asked, what is mental health? And Deshaun explained a lot of different things, about what mental health was, challenge, the balance effect of daily living, like, the challenges, things that we go through, and how we react to them, pretty much. So there were some things, different things that we talked about, ways to combat mental health, but it's therapeutic for us. It was about employment, having a job. A lot of times you have a job, you probably ain't got no money coming in, so your mental health is out. I ended up going to God in prayer. I wrote a poem, Hear Me, O God. It came from mental health. Those are mental health situations. So I need some answers. What's going on? What you want me to do? You want me to keep driving? You want me over here? You want me to sit down? Like, what? So we talked about employment. We talked about exercise, eating healthy, meditation, even your faith, you know, things you believe in. It gives you, we talked about the arts, whether it's poetry, creative writing, theater, painting, drawing, things like arts. And also protecting our space, the things that we are surrounded around. You know, even just an environment. You can be inside of a junkie, or you can be inside, you know, around messy people. You know, so just different things to help combat with mental health. So no spin, no spin. So we look at things to combat with mental health. And if anyone wants to add to the things, maybe it's something we're leaving out or forgetting. I think I might have some things, but I want to hear, you know, I want to hear some more. What are ways to combat other than the things that were said? Roy Architect has something? Okay.
Nowadays, mental health is getting therapy.
Say it again.
Mental health is getting therapy. You know, actually talking with some, you know, we all have different stages, levels, or some of the same things, but I know that I've experienced anxiety, even depression. Part of my depression, I know came from like me being overweight, being hurt, and not being able to rebound from like, you know, some of it is just you, but then some of it is just like, you know, not being able to just bounce back, period, sometimes. Like you think you have the will, you think you have the will to do it on your own. And a lot of times it really does encouragement by someone else to really help to get you out of the mud. You know, so like my boss has like literally uplifted me. And it's been like, I'm like, I don't know how you're doing this right now, but the people are peering into a side of me that I don't normally put out my open, because I feel like most times most people can't help me. You know, it's just conversation for some. For others, it's a pity party. You know, and you know, it kind of can turn into misery loves company. So we both just gonna sit here and just wallow what we're in. But the referencing my boss, she's like, well, maybe we need to, you know, talk to somebody, right? You know, take advantage of, you know, if you are employed and do have the resources to actually take advantage of that, because you never know how it might help you. And so, you know, actually sitting down with a therapist, you end up answering a lot of your own questions yourself, because they ask you really some blunt questions, and you really have to be honest. And the only way, like, there's no reason for you not to be honest with the questions being presented to you, because if you think you want help, then you really have to be honest with yourself.
Right.
And so, the right person asking the right questions, and it could just be simple, like, how do you feel about something? Or do you think what you're doing is right? What would be the outcome if you continue down the path that you're on? So, and then I can just throw in there PTSD, you know. There's a lot of people going through trauma in our neighborhoods that no one will ever know about or experience. And so they have no idea what that feels like. And so it's a war zone out here.
Yes, it is.
You know, it's disheartening It's sad. It makes you angry. If you've ever seen a body in the middle of the streets and to hear somebody crying out for somebody that they'll never get back again.
Yes.
Yes.
And so, with us being in a constant war zone, unfortunately, we get numb to it. And part of that is we don't really talk about it. We don't really talk about, and this really hurts me. Like, it ends up being, retribution. The only way to feel something or to feel better, so to speak, is to get back at somebody. When spiritually speaking, man, forgiveness is really the only way.
Wow.
I just listened to Dave Chappelle in the interview with Maya Angelou, and she kind of, in a sense, talked to him, on the ledge. She's like, it's okay to be angry. She said, but it's not okay to be bitter. She says, bitterness hurts the person that is bitter, basically. And so we do have to learn how to let go of some things in order to let go. And you and I, Mike, we talk at times, but and I'll end with this. It's good that we do, because we touch on business, but in the midst of it, we talk about problems which need solutions. And we might throw in some relationship scenarios, whereas with women, you all have more of a support system than we'll ever have. It's just y'all tight, knit like that, and so that's something that men need to learn and are learning how to do, which is to talk about what deeply and emotionally hurts us, because those that don't are the ones that end up in jail, end up in scenarios that control their emotions, and they end up being in situations, dead-end situations, but there's a point of no return, and from there, it's even an even deeper hole. So, it's a lot. I know you all have discussed a lot, but yeah, to me, mental health nowadays is therapy.
So therapy can come in so many different ways, then, right?
I mean, me, I'm a poet,
Right.
so through poetry, prayer, communication, I'm gonna say, gotcha. Don't get mom, so anywhere that's, that's prayer, of course, reading the Bible is spiritual, but or not to offend anybody, but whatever your belief is, but what do you call that? Fasting definitely will help you get some answers, some questions answered. And then just for me, praise. Praise is definitely a weapon. I just learned recently, looking into the story of Melchizedek and how he used prayer. But it also wasn't just praising God, but it also was a weapon. You know what I'm saying? So we have to fight against things that we cannot see, right? You can't see what's in somebody else's brain. conversation, or you watch their patterns, and you see a certain thing. Me and Mike just discussed last night. If you love somebody, I learned that love comes with correction. So we were talking about judgment. And if you notice that somebody is not the person that they normally are, it's okay to be like, pull their coattail. It's not to, it's to say, hey, I care. So that's the reason why I'm looking at you and I see something different than I normally see. And are you okay? That's a loaded question when you ask somebody, are they okay? Because if they really sat there and thought about it, they probably have a blank face. They're going to have deep emotional feelings on the inside. They are going to want to talk about it but not know how. They're probably going to cry. And they probably going to need a hug.
Yes.
Right? I just expressed a poem where just me, I had went through a breakup and sitting at the table with my aunt and her friend, and I'm in tears. She tells this man to give me a hug. And I didn't know how to accept it, but I did. And I let that out. So men don't normally get a chance to have that kind of embrace
That's true.
Yes.
for relief. And so, I admonish women for the fact that y'all can go to each other, and y'all do go to each other for support, because then y'all can air it out. Y'all, in many ways, if it doesn't complete the healing process, it definitely helps to get it started, right? Knowing that someone is there and that that part, somebody is there,
To listen.
right? Somebody's there to listen and to be present. You really sometimes don't even have the answers. So you can literally be there, not say a word, but just be in there. Holding that person's hand, it could be a hug, and then, the writing. One of the things I encourage people to do, I'm going to be quiet. One of the things I encourage people to do is to have a journal, but also to have a poetry journal, right? The journal is going to just allow you, that opportunity to get things out. But then the poetry, okay. But the poetry allows for you to creatively do something with the hurt and the pain, or the whatever it is, the joy, and the creativity actually creates, right? It can create a positive affirmation, something, that can take the hurt and dilute it, or your happiness. If you write about happiness, it can blow it up. You know what I'm saying? But the creativity does a lot. It really, the arts are literally helping to save people. Painting, writing, poetry, even rap. For some of these young artists who call themselves rappers, if they didn't have that opportunity to get in front of a mic,
Come on.
be in front of a crowd,
Yes.
and air that out.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, because I didn't realize that I was writing the journal anytime that I would freestyle in my car, and I'm just letting these words out. Literally, I was expressing how I was feeling in the midst of whatever I was doing, and it ended up being a spirits, the universe was listening. You know what I'm saying? But it was something I was able to get off my chest. And so, yeah, with therapy and mental health, there's that release, and then there's that placement of, you know, now that once you get that off, you know what I'm saying, you got to fill it up with goodness. You know,
But it has positive.
positive energy, that joy, happiness, you know, forgive yourself. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself some grace. You know, give yourself a chance to heal. Well, a lot of us don't give ourselves a chance to heal. And yes, we deal with quite a bit. But if you're spiritual, that's one of the reasons why God wanted us to give those things to Him. You know, a lot of stuff happened to you, and that's where the forgiveness comes in. Those people are going to live, you know, keep going on with their lives. But if you don't release that and say, you know what, I forgive you. Like I even forgive myself for holding on to it. For in some instances, allowing certain situations, you know, because we think we can handle certain things, and you find out you can't. You know, at least not by yourself. And maybe C. Farby said something. You end up being in a place longer than what you wanted, and that's where the healing comes from. You know, eventually getting out of that.